Share my screen. Okay, you can start. Okay, you can decide. Esha te bihita sankhye
येषा ते विहिता सांख्ये
buddhi yoge tvimam shrunu
बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु
buddhya yukta yaya partha
बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ
कर्मबन्धां प्रहास्यसि.
कर्म कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि.
Can read the translation.
Translation. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pratha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from bondage of works. Purport. According to the Nirukti or Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future because all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Krishna. And this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as Sankhya in terms of the Nirukti dictionary. This Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila. Long before the impostor Kapila's Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother Devahuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or the Supreme Lord is active and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification and under the spell of material energy. They are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of Maya or sense gratificatory illusion, and it is only after many, many births of such sense gratificatory activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth.
Yeah, we can discuss till here because it's a long purpose. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, would you like to share some points?
Yeah. Uh, Like this is this is the description of all the shlokas we have read so far about the soul and super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead. The same thing is repeated again, like with the Vedic dictionary, with using the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya and Sankhya. Sankhya means describing things in detail, and Sankhya refers to the real nature of the soul. Uh, as Arjuna is lamenting for his bodily conception towards his relatives, like his brothers and Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya. So he's just he thought by not killing his relatives he would be happier, but uh, it is all because his personal gratification. So killing and killing the body of his grandfather, he would be not killing the soul. They are all eternal individuals.
Yes. So Krishna says till now he had described about the analytical study, which means the Sankhya Yoga he have described till now. Now listen, I explain in terms of the working without fruity results. Now what does working without fruity result means? Working without fruity result, the term for this is Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Kama karma.
Yes. Now Nishkama Karma Yoga is oftentimes quoted as Bhakti Yoga also, because in Bhakti Yoga also you do your work and you offer your, or say you do your work thinking of Krishna always, or thinking of Lord always. In that way, both are interchangeably being used by Prabhupada in his purpose. Okay. Now you explained rightly how Arjuna was lamenting, and Krishna, using analytical approach, Krishna told him that you are soul, you are not this body. So don't lament for this body. Now, here, one more Sankhya philosophy came in between, which was being replaced in Srimad Bhagavatam. But right now it is being corrected, and the Sankhya philosophy, which Kapila Muni said to his mother. Now, there is one more Kapila who is an atheistic Kapila, that is different version. But here, Lord Kapila is the incarnation of Lord Krishna, I think, to his mother Devahuti, who is a wife of Parashar Muni, who served Parashar Muni. So she got a son named Kapila Muni, Lord Kapila, and then Lord Kapila explains the Sankhya philosophy to Devahuti. And according to that philosophy, we had various points over here. One more point was there uh, about happiness. Happiness derived from conquering them, and happiness derived by seeing the kingsmen's alive, both are on personal sense gratification. So whatever happiness we derive on personal sense gratification, it is not worthwhile, which is Krishna says here. Now, what happiness should we do? Happiness in serving others, happiness in serving Lord is what remains as a permanent credit. We'll have in some 2 or 3 slokas, we'll discuss about what is permanent and what is the Vaya bank account. Till now it's clear, right? We'll continue from here.
Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself unto him. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. This Buddhi Yoga is certainly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna consciousness, attains to this stage of Buddhi Yoga by special grace of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does He award the pure knowledge of devotion in love. In that way, the devotee can reach him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God. Thus, the Buddhi Yoga mentioned in this verse is the devotional service of the Lord, and the word Sankhya mentioned here in as nothing to do with the atheistic Sankhya Yoga enunciated by the impostor Kapila. One should not therefore misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein as any connection with the atheistic Sankhya, nor did the philosophy have any influence during that time, nor would Lord Krishna care to mention such godless philosophical speculations. Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but even that Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics. Here, Sankhya means analytical description of the body and soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapila's Sankhya, as described in the Bhagavatam, are one and the same. They are all Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said, therefore, that only the less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga prathak bala pravadantina panditaha. Of
Yeah,
course, atheistic Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with Bhakti Yoga, yet the unintelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga is referred to in the Bhagavad Gita.
yeah, you can continue.
Okay. One should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness in the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord, and thus his liberation is complete in itself, without his making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of work that we perform.
Right? Whatever work we perform is Buddhi Yoga, and using that work in Lord's service is Bhakti Yoga. Yeah, you can share some points over here.
Yeah, I mean, here Krishna is explaining what is Buddhi Yoga. Like the point he mentioned here is um, he wants to bring Arjuna to the Buddhi Yoga. He wants Arjuna to get the Krishna consciousness, and he who attains this stage of Buddhi Yoga will definitely have the grace of the Supreme Lord. So again here is explaining how to become the Buddhi Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. As you yesterday you explained me, like when you are in Grihastha ashram also, how you can serve the Lord and the devotees of the Lord and become Krishna consciousness. The same way here Krishna is telling the Arjuna that it is the one who achieves this Krishna consciousness will always be in the transcendental state, which is of full bliss and knowledge of devotional service.
Yeah, exactly. We discussed about Sankhya philosophy, right? Now, that Sankhya is also not mentioned here, which Kapila Muni and Lord Kapila and Mother Devoti were discussing. Sankhya mentioned here is the analytical description of the body and soul. And then we saw how Buddhi Yoga is termed as Bhakti Yoga because what is Buddhi Yoga? Buddhi Yoga is basically the direct feeling towards the Lord, or mentioned here is a communion with the Lord. Now, when does that feelings towards Lord takes place? That takes place when there is bhakti, and therefore Prabhupada relates Buddhi Yoga and Bhakti Yoga in one term also. Now, in one more paragraph, you'll see Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga is written, or in the practice of devotional service. Now, Bhakti is translated in English as devotional service. Okay, it is not only devotion but also devotional service. And here, if you see, Buddhi Yoga, or here Nishkama Karma Yoga or Bhakti, they are all almost same things. Okay, so therefore, Buddhi Yoga is transcendental quality of the work that we perform. Now, here at last, we saw how Prabhupada discussed about engagement, transcendental engagement. Now, whatever skills one may have, uh, if one is working, one can contribute to Lord by his money. If one knows website development, one can make websites for devotees of the Lord, temples, and other things. If one is good at organizing events, organize a pandala. If one is good at debates, speech, then have discussions over those shastric topics, motivate others to read these things. This is how one engages oneself in service of Lord. All right. I guess we have no more point. Any doubt over here till now?
It's clear.
It's there. We'll move on to the next one now. Now here Krishna says about what is permanent and what is not permanent. Okay. Someone can recite the sloka behind me. Neha Vikramanaşosti
नेहा विक्रमनाशो स्त्री
Pratyavayo na vidyate
प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते
Valpam apiyasya dharmasya
स्वर्गम् अप्यस्य धर्मस्य
Rayate mahato bhayat.
त्रायते महतो भयात्.
Yes, you can read the translation.
Translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise, the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna's consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not a loss, not at a, not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in the material activity, without a 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna's consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं कराणां कराणाम्बुजं हरे भजा
Rana, is it
भजानपक्वो.
you can take this C as chara. When ka comes, that is K. Kwa. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try.
त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे भजानपक्वोत्ता पठेत् ततो यदि यत्र क्वात् वभद्रम् अबुद् अमुष्य किं को वर्त आप्तो Bhajatam Swadharmataha. If someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or, as the Christians say, when profiteth a man if he gain the whole world yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body. But work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even, even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is unique quality of work done in Krishna's consciousness.
Yes, you can share some points from me.
We have to do work in Krishna's consciousness. That's the summary.
Yeah. So how here it is shared very nicely that how there is no loss in this process, right? Is there any loss in this process?
No.
Even a little advancement is permanent, as stated
Mm.
here. If we are completing our suppose bhakti credits to 10%. So next time, whenever we are starting, it will start from 11%. But same way, if we take example of material credits, then they will start from zero. And if you don't have 100% of them, then it usually is not so glorified or not considered even to some level. So without 100% material profit, no material profit in this material world. So here, suppose a PhD guy, unless he publishes his thesis, uh, his entire hard work is his hard work is not considered or say not worth it. But when results are shown, then it is worth it. But here, when it comes to bhakti yoga or in the path of spirituality, there is no loss. So, and when one performs a little thing also, then he's saved from the most dangerous types of fear, right? Now, here, the mention of Ajamila comes. Do you know the story of Ajamila?
No, Ajinkya.
Okay, we'll discuss the story of Ajamila. I have some slides. Not a long slide, just one or two pages. I will go through it, okay, once.
Yeah.
So here, I took it from a Hindi lecture. So how Ajamila was saved. Now, Ajamila, this is Madhvacharya's commentary. This is Sloka. Now, once what happened was, Ajamila was a Brahmana, okay. Now, he was being trained under his father and mother to be in the Brahmanical qualities. So he was studying Vedas, he was chanting the holy names of the Lord, he was doing all his deity worship standards. So he was a fixed personality or Brahmana. But once when he came to the forest to pluck for flowers for the Lord, then he saw one Shudra and Shudrani mating, kissing each other, and they were not dressed properly. So this vision, when he saw, the Kama Bija in his heart prevailed, and from then he started contemplating on those things. Even though he was aware, there was a fight between his intelligence and his mind, and eventually the mind won. And then when he took the prostitutes at his home, and to satisfy her on her demand, he kicked away his mother and father out of home. He sent his wife to her home, and he went on satisfying the prostitute. He had 10 children through that prostitute, and one at the age of 84 he had a children. He had a child. And to satisfy that prostitute, he was working hard and there was not enough money coming. So he started stealing money. He started killing people for some small amount of money. He started gambling. Then he started drinking. All the prohibited activities, all the regulatory principles, which was no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. He went down to breaking all those things. And then he was fallen in so bad condition, and at last he had a small child to whom he loves very much. And due to the mercy of the Brahmana, he named that child as Narayana. So that was a 3 or 4 year child. And then whatever he was needed, he used to call Narayana, please bring me a glass of water. Narayana, Narayana. So that Narayana was a dear child to him. And when his death occurred, at that time, Yamadutas came. This is one video. And the name Narayana he uttered.
Narayan!
Then
Oh,
Lord.
Narayan!
So here comes Yamadutas. Yamadutas have came to take away the soul because he had done a lot of sinful activities. So the soul was being carried.
Stop! Leave this man alone.
But now what happened was he chanted Narayana just before leaving his body. And as we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita how if we chant the names of Lord Ram, any Lord at the end, uh, that that is what is the perfection of life. Now he chanted Narayana, then Narayana heard his call and told Vishnu Dutas that see some devotee is calling me. So Vishnu Dutta says that he's not calling, he's calling his son. Then Narayana says, but that is my name, so why to take a benefit of doubt? Just go and see what's happening. And then Vishnu Dutas came, and
Narayan! Narayan!
as we saw how
Stop!
Vishnu Dutta stopped
Leave
them.
this man alone.
Who are you that dares to challenge us? For we are the Yamadutas.
And then Vishnu Dutas blew away the Yamadutas, and then he got another chance. That's where the second chance come into picture. Then Ajamila went to Haridwar. He did tapasya. He started where he left off in his childhood. So at the age of 24, at whatever point of time he left his rituals, at from the same point he started after he got remembrance from the Lord. And within 12 years, he perfected his life. And in the right picture, you can see he went back home, back to Godhead. So this is the example of Ajamila. Now, why Ajamila? We were discussing Ajamila because to prove the point that half finished work is counted in devotion, whereas in material world we need to complete the entire thing. So if somehow we are only able to complete 10-20% of the credits, then it is not a sorrow thing. By that small attempt also we are protected from one of the most dangerous type of fear. Now what is that dangerous type of fear? That is to get an animal body in our next life. So if one does a simple regular chanting of mantras or anything, one is saved from the getting animal body. So he may get some human body in some Brahmana's family in next life, or he may get aristocratic human birth where he can have no tension of earning money, and by that he can live peacefully and practice bhakti. All right, any doubt in this till now?
No, Ajinkya.
Okay. Right here it said that one may either get the birth in a great cultured Brahmana or a rich aristocratic family for further chance of elevation where he left off in the next slide, in the previous slide. Okay, it's already 8:30. This is a nice slogan. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, how diverted attention will not, because of this diverted attention, we are not able to have a resolute purpose in our life. We'll discuss this in next lecture, from next class onwards.
Okay.
Okay, then thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.